Hello, welcome to the Farmyard Garden. My name's Claire, and the first thing I'm going to be doing in today's episode is removing all of the leeks from this bed, because apparently I completely neglected to notice that they've all started going to seed, which is such a shame because look at them, they are beautiful leeks. So I'm going to be harvesting them now, and what I'll be doing is just chopping them up, processing them for the freezer. I will be though leaving some of them in the bed to go to flower, especially the ones that are the Northern Light ones. Look at that. Now that took a lot longer than I expected. Obviously the ground had baked hard, it had been so wet over winter, and then obviously we've had such a warm spring. But the rest of this bed is destined to have sweet corn in it, another hungry crop. So I need to feed this bed and give it a really good mulching of some fresh organic compost on top. As I already said, this bed is having sweet corn in it for this year. Now I've sown my own sweet corn twice this year and I have 7 germinated, that's all. So I have taken the decision again to buy myself some more sweet corn. This variety is called Early Riser, and I'm hoping that Duncan will approve of it. Now, I didn't quite have enough to fill this bed completely, so what I've done is taken the first row out here so that I could fill the back row, because I do actually have a few zinnias left over. So I've decided I'm just going to pop these few zinnias here in the edge of this bed. And then to finish off, I also have a spare cosmos, which I will just plant in the corner here. Well, we finally got some rain last night, which means it's the perfect day to be doing nematodes for slugs. Now, I've kept these in the fridge for nearly 2 weeks. Their expiry date is only in 3 days' time. So the rain has come just about soon enough for me to get this done. I'm not sure how I feel about using nematodes, but I do know that I didn't feel very happy about the amount of slug damage that we were suffering from last year. And whilst the weather has been really mild early on in spring, I just don't want to take the risk now. So you buy your pack of nematodes, mine are from Garden Naturally. Put it in here, and now I need to add 10 litres of water to this to make my bulk solution. Give it a good stir, that's 5. So this is the main concentrate solution that's been made up now, and you have 4 hours to use it from the start of making it. And all you do now is add 1 litre of this to another 9 litres in a watering can, making 10 litres at a time. A 2-gallon watering can is actually 9 litres, so there's 9 litres in there. I have measured them just to see where it needs to be marked on the actual side of the watering can. and I'm adding another litre into it. Again, giving it a stir. And now I'm just going to water it around my plants. Now it does say you can use a coarse rose or just pour it straight in. You don't actually have to water every square inch of the soil. It says to pour it in bands around susceptible plants. Now I'm getting it on the leaves here, and it does say to water your plants afterwards, just to wash it off the leaves. Not that it'll damage the plants, but obviously you want the nematodes in the actual soil. It's a bit windy. While I was just watering, I've noticed that it looks like the pigeons have been at my French beans. Now, I didn't have any trouble with birds eating the French beans last year, so this has been a bit of a new one. So it looks like I'm about to try and make another structure to keep the birds off them. What I thought I'd also do is plant a few of the spares on the inside. I do think the ones that have been damaged will come back because they don't appear to have taken the centres out of them. Why is it always windy when you do this kind of thing? Tripping over it. I'm just going to peg it to the edge of the bed as well. This is only temporary because obviously beans do need to be pollinated, but it'll just keep them covered just for now. And when I've put the rest of my pea structures up, I'll probably have some of the jute netting left over, and then I can put a more permanent thing around them. But hopefully that will be enough to keep them out for now. What about your baby, Dora? Oh, everyone's going to protect Diego now, apart from his mummy, because she's too busy fighting. Now these very weedy looking plants here are actually potatoes that I've grown from seed, not a seed potato, an actual packet of seeds that were sent to me by the lovely Robin from Robin's Gardens. And it's time to get these potted up. The variety is called Clancy, and I'm really excited to see how these do. Now I've already been and filled these buckets up with some fresh compost, and I am just going to add a little bit of potato fertiliser. Oh, that's a lot. A little bit of potato fertiliser in both of them as well. And then I'm just going to plonk each one in there and hope for the best. Oh, they've got some nice roots on them. And you can see they're trying to put up other shoots as well. This one is a much weaker looking plant. The roots are not as good at all on this one. but they were the only 2 seeds to germinate. So it's getting a chance. Didn't put him very centrally though, did I? Hopefully they'll be happy here and I'll be able to show Robin some success with potatoes grown from seed. Now whilst I'm just round this side of the garden, I want to show you something that's really exciting. Remember my patio peach tree, Crimson Bonfire? I mean, look at it now. Those leaves, it just looks magnificent. But that's not the exciting bit. The really exciting bit is that this has baby peaches on it already. I'm going to have to thin them out, maybe leave 1 or 2 on here to see if it will develop into full-size peaches for the first season. But I never expected to see baby peaches on such a new tree. I only planted this as a bare root at the back end of winter. Moving to the greenhouse next door, I have quite a bit of potting on to do. These cucumbers are not quite ready to be able to be planted straight out in the polytunnel. So I'm going to give them another pot on first. I've got way too many cucumbers now. I don't need them all, so I'll probably be giving some away. And I also have some squashes here as well. Again, not ready to plant them out yet, so it's a good idea to get those potted on. And I'm really pleased to have just noticed that I have 2 chicky curries that have come up. Now I thought these weren't germinating. These were sown on the 2nd of May and look, they've just come up, whereas everything else has been up for quite some time now. So I'm really pleased to see that. That's really good. I'm only planting out 2 courgette plants this year, and that's probably 1 too many. This one, which is just labelled as zucchini, which is the traditional green courgette, and then the other variety I have is called Summer Sun. I do love this time of year because I absolutely love being able to give spares away to friends or on the community pages on Facebook. And obviously a lot of you are growing on allotments, so you can do things at your allotment sales or just swap between plot holders. Well, I don't have that here, so that's my extended community. Wow, it's hailing. Oh, I'm glad I'm not out in this. I didn't think that I had that much to plant out now, but having potted on and almost filled the greenhouse again, I'm a little bit shocked. These are my birdhouse gourds. I am really looking forward to growing those this year. I've got 4 that have germinated. Probably won't be planting all 4. So there's still plenty to be going on with. And I have some more tomatoes in here to harvest. As you can see, there's some of the Aztec yellow are ready to harvest. I think there might be another one hiding in there. No, maybe not. And then I also have this one, which is the house one. And I have my first red tomatoes to harvest. And there's another one up here. Look at that, tomatoes, and it's still only May. Now in last week's video you saw me plant out my fruit trees, and I did put a pear tree on this lawn, and I'd put in a comment on my video to say, please help me convince Duncan to have an orchard back on the lawn. We cannot possibly have this poor pear tree as the only tree on the lawn, can we? It looks so lonely, doesn't it? Well, I'm happy to say it's worked, because if you look behind me, and I'll turn the camera around for you, there are a series of stakes on the lawn marking where Duncan has agreed for me to put more fruit trees and create another orchard on the main lawn. And here is one such stake marking where a tree can go in the lawn. He's given me permission to have 6 trees on this area of the lawn, which means I've got 5 more trees to buy. So I've already ordered a persimmon and a walnut tree. Now the walnut variety is called Europa, which is a more compact walnut, so hopefully it won't grow too tall for the space. But just to be sure, I probably will contain that in a root bag when planted. But obviously that means I still have some decisions to make, because I have the pear tree obviously from last week, so I've got 3 more trees that I can buy for this growing space. I'm kind of veering towards an almond tree for one of those things, so 2 more suggestions please. Now they're not the only trees that I bought last week. I also bought a quince and a mulberry tree, but I didn't buy bigger sized trees because I didn't think I had a hope in hell's chance of having an orchard on the lawn. So they are patio dwarf trees that are going out on the vegetable garden. So I don't need to add quince or mulberry to the list. I really can't wait to get these trees planted and to be established in a few years' time and to be able to walk through my own proper orchard on the lawn. I'm really excited. So thank you for helping me to convince him to let my dreams come true. He does say that my dreams came true the day I married him, so it's going to be amazing. But I think the next job that I'm going to do is get these sunflowers out. They are way too big to still be in the greenhouse. So all of the sunflowers are going on the archways on this side. The other side of the archways all have gladioli planted in them. I'm going to lie them down so they don't get damaged. I just have a real mix of different varieties. Some have lost the labels, so it just doesn't matter. We'll get what we get. Goosey-goosies again. Whilst I'm just finishing up securing the sunflowers, I think I'll just tie up the sweet peas again. There's more and more flowers coming out each day, including this one here at the bottom. Look at that, how pretty is that? No idea what the variety is. On the shelf here behind me I have some melons, and I was going to pot these on because, well, they're looking quite big to be in the pot that they're in. But do you know what? I think I'm just going to go and plant them in the polytunnel. I don't think they need potting on. Let's just get them out. This makes far more sense than wasting any more compost, doesn't it? Oh gosh, can't see where I'm going. Right, let's find a home for them. Ooh. Careful, don't break them now. Because I have grown the aravas last year and they didn't get too wide, I think I might put an arava melon there, and then I'll have the other arava melon here and the honeydew there. And that means I can put the second loofah there. Yeah, I think that works. Oh, again, good roots, good roots. In the end, I've settled on 4 melons, 2 arava melons, we liked those last year, a honeydew melon to try, and a watermelon. Haven't got as much space down this side of the bed with having the sweet potatoes in here this year, and I need to keep space for 4 cucumbers, and they're the last things to be going in the polytunnel. As you can see though, all of the tomatoes have taken quite well and put on some growth since they've been here. I am really, really pleased with how the polytunnel is looking. So I'm going to carry on and get everything watered, and I'll catch you in the next video. Look after yourselves. Bye.